Well, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending where you are on the planet. Today, for the Y Factor podcast, I have Nate Tyler with me. Nate, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian. Good to be here. Yeah.
Well, thanks for agreeing to be interviewed. So, look, a little bit of background about Nate. Nate is, I think the best way to describe you is you're a writer, aren't you?
Yes.
But like a sort of a journalist writer, really, aren't you? You write about predominantly sustainability matters, products, tech, innovations. But you have a very interesting past, which is how we met. But before we get
Mhm.
into those questions, I want to, first of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions, as you know. And my first question to you is where's the most fascinating place that you've had the privilege of visiting in your life?
Oh, fascinating place. I've traveled a fair amount. I don't think, you know, I'm like some world beater or anything. I don't have 20, 30 countries under my belt, but Copenhagen is definitely one of my favorite places. I loved Copenhagen when we were there. Okinawa is really cool. Thailand is fun. Obviously, I live in Taiwan, so I like Taiwan. There's something very relaxed but fun and also exciting about living here altogether, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and
Um,
you're quite off grid there, aren't you? Is it right? You live near paddy or next to paddy fields?
Yes, yes, we live surrounded by rice paddies and stuff, but I mean, we're only 20 minutes outside of the city,
Okay,
and so it's not too far, but yeah, we are surrounded by rice paddies and stuff.
but
And there,
you were brought
I
up in the
think I
States. What?
count. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
you were
I
brought
think I
up in the
count.
States.
I think I counted 25 plots just on our road. Uh, uh, last year, and our road is only about, I don't think even a kilo long.
Right,
There's
right,
25 plots, yeah, rice paddies.
right,
So,
right.
mhm.
But you were brought up in the US, weren't you?
I'm from Minnesota, actually. Grew up on a river surrounded by the woods and stuff, and also, yeah, I mean, only child, so growing up in the country with nobody else around and just exploring the woods and playing in the woods. So, I've always been outside, pretty much.
And you've got a Bachelor of Arts degree in writing
Yes.
from St. Cloud State University.
Yes.
In creative writing, I should say. And you did that,
Mhm.
finished that in 2010. So look, I mean, I want to really get the reason why I wanted to interview you was when we first met, you told me a very interesting story, which um, started my own personal journey into trying to understand about PFAS and these
Mhm.
forever chemicals. So,
Mhm.
just for the benefit of people that don't know you, explain what you were doing at the time, who you were doing it for, and why.
Okay. Yeah, I will get into it. So, I again, creative writing degree, and I wanted a job writing. And I finally got one as a content writer, and I had no idea what it was, but it was writing for companies on the internet and working for these two guys running an SEO agency. And so I started working with them, and probably after about three months. Then they gave me my first website, my first like own company to write and handle pretty much on my own. And when he, when the owner of my company, told it to me. I was like, "What's the name of the company?" And he tells me, and I'm like, "Coding." I'm thinking like computer coding, like coding, not, uh, other types of codings and stuff. So probably for a day, I didn't even know what industry I was working in until I finally saw it in writing. And then I finally figured it out and, I saw it in writing. I'm like, oh, okay, Teflon coatings. So I,
So
I'm
let's
like,
just be
okay,
clear. Teflon coatings
yes,
produced
Teflon
by
coating.
DuPont.
Yes, yes. And it was probably a week after I started working on that company that DuPont spun off into Chemours, if that's how it's pronounced, um, to limit their own liability. So that was a lot of fun trying to write DuPont and then realizing halfway through writing this website that it's now a new company.
So
And
just for the benefit of timing, around about when would this have been?
it was right about 10 years ago. It was late August 2015. So
Okay.
right about 10 years ago. Um, and yeah, they spun off right like in the middle of me working on this website and stuff. So I told the owners, I said, I can research Teflon coatings all day, but I mean, unless I interview the people, I'm not going to know what to write. So I was actually able to convince them to let me interview the company I was writing for, which
Right.
was that alone was kind of a huge win. So I interviewed them and then I started researching it and, writing it. And the first thing I found was a whole bunch of stuff talking about how Teflon or PFAS, as we call it now, I believe PTFE was the acronym that I primarily used for this company. Um, just about how awful these chemicals were. And so I'm researching and researching and, going down all these rabbit holes of, cancer and death and the people making the chemicals, the people living around the factories making these chemicals, this and that. I'm like, huh, I don't know if I should be writing about this.
Mm.
And
Right.
so I think I even brought it up to the owner of my company. I'm like, this stuff is pretty bad, right? He's like, yep, write the website. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, that's what they're paying me for. And, I didn't have any money, so
You
I
wrote
had
it.
to. So then I kept writing for that company for about a year and 3 months, four
And
months.
did you ever get a chance to go to the factory in Parkersburg in Minnesota? Is it in Minnesota? In West Virginia, isn't it?
No, no, I never went. No, I didn't go there. I wasn't working for a manufacturer. I was working for an applicator. So they basically, you have a machine shop that needs something coated in Teflon, and they would send it to the company I was writing for, and they would just, put a Teflon coating on it and ship it back, kind of
Got
thing.
it.
They most of their clients were food processing, packaging machinery, some aerospace, and then a lot of small machine shops. So, yeah.
Okay. And this Teflon coating was presumably used to repel grease and moisture for
Mhm.
various different applications. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So like food processing, a lot of hoppers and all the machinery parts that the food is touching so that, it's not going to stick to it. And then also stuff the food isn't touching. I mean, just to help the machine run and not get greased up or whatever. So anyway, so I just kept writing for it, but I had to constantly figure out new stuff to write. So then every single time I would search for new stuff and new angles to write for this website, I kept finding more and more articles about how awful Teflon is. for like a year and 3 months. I keep doing this. Finally, I left that company and I
So
had enough.
at what point did you say I can't do this anymore?
Um, that was one of multiple clients I wasn't really a fan of working for, to be honest. Um, there were others that were actually more just the people who owned the Teflon coating company, they were actually very nice people. I mean, they were
Hmm.
just a local family. I mean, they were actually nice people. Some of the other people though were not so fun.
Do
So,
you do you think they knew at that time the extent of the problems that were being caused with pollution, water contamination, food contamination, air contamination, etc.?
mhm.
Do you think they knew?
Um, you mean the owners of that company?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I mean, just for
I,
listeners, but for listeners, for people listening, to give some sort of perspective,
mhm,
PFAS legal payouts to date come to a total of around about $14 billion, and the estimates reckon it could get to hundreds of billions of dollars. This will be bigger than tobacco, bigger than asbestos, and the major companies that are involved. I mean, I've got a list of them here. Whether we list them all or mention them all, I think the big ones we should perhaps call out are 3M, DuPont, Chemours that you mentioned, Corteva, but there are many, and there are some of these are household names that people will know and love, like
mhm,
BASF, for example. And there are also some, high street brands, which I'm not going to mention on this recording, but it's is unbelievable. And so for other
mhm,
people that don't realize that PFAS, once it's into the blood and into our bodies, it never goes, does it? It's there forever.
mhm. Actually, I'm going to take that back and say they probably did know because by 2015, the state of Minnesota had already settled with 3M over what happened in Lake Elmo and Stillwater. I believe
Yeah.
it was Stillwater. Um,
Well, that was
Woodbury area.
that was
Woodbury.
they paid out a total. So there was a big payout in 2018 of $850 million,
Hmm.
2023 10.3 billion, and then
Yeah.
2025 450 million. So they've paid out so far just over $11 billion in claims.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
3M.
that in Minnesota was 700 or 800 million, and that was like 2012, I believe, 2010, 2012. And so this company that I was working with, they definitely knew. I mean, they had to have known and stuff.
And
Um,
yeah, I mean, because people have died and been maimed and are being, well, let's be honest, PFAS is in just about every water system and
mhm,
soil on the planet now. It's affecting all of us. I think they say that certainly every single American has got PFAS in their body. So this is a very serious matter, and
mhm.
there's probably no end to it. So none of those people ever went to prison, did they?
Oh, no, no, it's nobody did. Just fines. Well, I mean, big fines, but nobody's ever gone to prison as far as I know.
Why do you think that is? Because people have been killed. I mean,
How many
hundreds of people, thousands of people have been killed.
how many how many bankers went to prison in the US for the mortgage crisis?
Yeah, but they didn't
tobacco
kill. They didn't directly
how,
kill people.
how many tobacco executives went to prison?
Yeah.
I mean, the US has a very strong history of not jailing top executives. And even finding a scapegoat isn't, you know, looked well upon.
Yeah, but
It,
we are talking about taking people's lives here, and this is knowingly. Once you know something, I mean, when DuPont realized that they were killing their own employees and the wider community, once they realized that, they did absolutely nothing about it for years and years and years, over 20 years.
Look at I cannot remember the state, but there's a state passing a law right now that basically removes all liability from Monsanto over Roundup. That's a bill going through a U.S. state right now, multiple U.S. states, I believe. I mean, so to say why did nobody ever go to prison? I mean, politicians are actively passing laws to even remove the possibility of lawsuits, much less
So
prison time.
basically, we're talking massive corruption here, right?
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
Is this why you live in Taiwan?
Uh, Taiwan ain't much better. I mean, it's somebody just got nabbed for corruption yesterday. Actually, the green energy czar of the government literally got nabbed yesterday.
So
So,
how do you think that?
is any government anywhere really all that great? I mean, there are some better than others, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
really. So.
I don't know. So how do you think this will play out? If you were to predict, I mean, you've got young children, haven't you? How do you think this will play out over the next 10, 20 years, the life of your children, over the next, say, 50 years? How do you think this will play out?
I think that it'll mirror the climate crisis in a lot of ways. In terms of, okay, so you have, what is it? The Netherlands right now that is saying that they're recommending not to eat eggs from backyard chickens because of PFAS contamination in the soil. Okay. So that's a problem already. Now, some places are working to clean it up. Some states in the US are passing laws, others obviously don't care as much.
Yeah.
As that poisoning continues to get worse and soil degrades, just like with the climate crisis, how we will see and are seeing already, climate migrants, people leaving because of extreme weather or drought or crop failure or whatever. So too will people leave because of, they might not call it contaminated soil, but contaminated soil is causing crops to not grow as well or something. And that they will eventually move to states and countries that have put more effort into cleaning it all up. Now, I believe the number is, now, I don't want to say that because I'm not sure, and I don't want to put it out there. But I know that the cost to clean up PFAS worldwide every year is massive. Massive. The estimated cost for that is massive, but I don't remember the exact number, and I'm not gonna
No, it's going to be
put that out there.
hundreds of billions, possibly trillions. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
going to be huge.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to post up all of the research that I've been able to muster so far about the companies involved. I was shocked by
Hmm.
some of the companies I came across that are being implicated here. So,
Hmm.
all right. I mean, I appreciate you being so open about this really tricky subject,
Well,
Nathan.
I mean, I can explain a bit more about it. I mean, just with my own working with them and stuff. So, I mean, I eventually left that company just because I couldn't stand working with them anymore. There were tons of reasons. Working for a Teflon company was only one of them. There were a bunch of reasons.
Mm.
But also, I mean, my mom was a science teacher for 40 years. I was learning about melting, polar ice caps when I was like 8 in 1995. I mean, so I've been learning about this from a very young age and, thinking about the environment and everything. So yeah, it definitely weighed on me and stuff. And then after I left there, eventually I went freelance and slowly just started a niche into sustainability and, working with
The,
companies
the good guys.
actually trying to clean stuff up and partly in a way to make up for, you know, helping putting so much crap out there with regards to Teflon and everything. So,
I mean, it
yeah.
must make you personally angry, right?
No, I mean, which part? Uh, look around. I mean, there's so many things to get angry about that you could if you let it get to you. I mean, you go, yeah, there's a lot of crap, and you start working on it. You start working on fixing it. And
Yeah,
if you just let anger get to you,
it's going to eat you up. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's not only is nothing fixed, but now you're angry on top of it. That doesn't
Yeah,
sound like fun.
do you know what? I do agree with that philosophy. There's only so many things that you can do in life, and what you don't want to do is become so obsessed that it eats you
Hmm.
up inside. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You should write a book about this, if you haven't done already. Anyway, look, let's move on. Let's move on to
Okay.
some more positive things, shall we?
Sure.
Now,
Sure.
now you've ruined my day and everybody else's. So come on, this might relate back to what we've just been talking about. What's the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in your life?
Oh, I don't know. I've never known how to answer that question. I mean, challenge? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
It
It's
doesn't have to
not
be. It doesn't have
big.
to be professional. It can be a personal challenge.
I don't, it's, it's an interesting question because just trying to be a good person, try to be more of yourself. I mean, isn't that what we all struggle with in a lot of ways?
Yeah,
Is just, all the influences out there and you just work on being yourself and not giving in to everything so much. I mean, okay, that company that I worked for, the SEO company, right? Uh, one of the things that just bothered me so much about them is they were big car people. Big, big car people. Now, I don't have a problem with car people. I don't care. I mean, you like cars, so be it. It's not my place to really be like, oh, you should take public transport or anything like that. Like, especially out in rural Minnesota, there's not a lot of public transportation, right? So they may have been, I may not have a problem with that, but they put an insane amount of pressure on me to also be a car person. And I don't have any interest in buying a $90,000 Camaro. I just don't, you know? But it was just these little things constantly and stuff. And that's how life is everywhere, though. I
yeah.
mean,
Peer peer
it might
pressure.
not be such direct pressure,
It's
but
not just cars, is it? It's
no.
clothes, it's watches, it's houses, it's boats, it's everything. Because it's an extension of your ego and who you are as a person and what you've achieved in life. And people do
Mhm.
judge you by your car and by the school you've been to and by the type of clothes that you wear and how you look and how you sound.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, and so it's just about there might not be so much direct pressure like that, but there's little pressures exactly like you're describing that happen all the time. And just simply being yourself, I think, is a challenge that everybody can relate to because we're all dealing with it every day and stuff.
Yeah,
So I don't
good
know. I guess
answer.
that's
I
my
like that.
answer.
No, it's a good, I like that. It's a well thought through answer. So, what was your first job, and what did it teach you? Was it delivering pizzas?
No, it wasn't. My first job was actually picking tomatoes for $5 an hour under the table. And what it taught me was don't let the owner catch you guys throwing rotten tomatoes at each other.
Brilliant, brilliant. I love it. I love it. That's great.
So,
I I did a degree in marketing, and one of the tricks was if you've got tomatoes that were a little bit overripe,
mhm.
the way to sell them was to increase the price of them because the perception was that they were better quality.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. So okay, so how do you remain curious and motivated every day?
I mean, that takes work. Uh reading is obviously big. Uh, it comes down to mindset. Yeah, some days you might not be curious and motivated. Some days you may just want to, you know, not care. But for the most part, you just have to look outside and be like, wow, there's some interesting stuff going on. And it really not letting things get to you so much. I mean, if you let everything weigh you down, that's that's obviously going to have an effect. But it's just brushing everything off and, you know, what's this about? What's this about? As long as you ask questions, then you will remain curious, I think. So
Asking
never
questions.
stop asking questions.
I like it. So what advice do you give others, but you never quite follow yourself?
Hmm. I don't know. I think for the most part, I follow advice that I give other people, you know, buy a one button coffee maker, stuff like that. I don't believe in complicated coffee makers. That's a hard rule of mine. Um, let's see. Wear good wear good shoes. I don't know. I wear sandals more often than not. I don't
Do you
know
know,
if I really have an answer for that one.
I was brought up always wear good shoes, but
Yeah, no,
I, I,
I wear sandals for the most part. Like 10 months a year here, which is one of actually my favorite things in Taiwan. It's, you know, compared to wearing winter boots in Minnesota, is that I get to
it's
wear
too hot,
sandals all
isn't
the
it? I
time.
mean, you're was it 30 to 35 degrees most days, isn't it?
No, 30, 31. Um,
Yeah.
and you'll find a lot of people wearing shoes here, but I mean, I don't wear shoes until it gets to about 14 degrees. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. So what's your message to your younger self?
Keep on going. You're doing fine. You'll figure it out. Um, That's about it. I mean, yeah, if I hadn't done some things, of course my life would be different, but it wouldn't be who I am today. You
Mm.
need all of that stuff together.
I know you've got issues with AI because you and I have talked about this, and
Hmm.
you're very concerned about it muting the brain
Hmm.
and removing creativity. And I guess because you have a passion for words
Hmm.
and encouraging people to read those words, AI presents a challenge for humanity, right?
AI is a bubble. AI, that bubble is going to pop at some point. Um, there's the dead internet theory of basically you have AIs writing stuff to each other and AIs answering it, and we're all using our AI to respond back to someone else's AI, and pretty soon there's no real humans left on the internet, and it's all just regurgitation of other stuff. I mean, that's a theory, and the way some people use AI definitely seems like they want that to happen. I don't know. I think that if somebody is going to use AI for writing and you couldn't be bothered to write it, why should I be bothered to read it if you can't take the time to do that? And even if you check it, you edit it, okay. Has AI produced anything that people have laughed with co- rather than laughed at? I
Mhm.
mean,
Interesting.
has it produced anything that made you really ponder, or is it just, oh, that's pretty good because it was AI? If a normal person had written whatever the stuff is that people are all going, oh, that's pretty good, it's AI. If a normal person had written that, they would go, no, that's not great because it really isn't. I mean, uh, there's studies from MIT showing that basically cognitive decline is real from people who overuse AI. There's all sorts of stuff, but AI is so broad. I mean, if we're talking about LLMs, ChatGPT, that kind of thing, yeah, that makes a huge difference. I mean, I saw a article just 2 weeks ago talking about how doctors that relied on AI for cancer detection could no longer detect cancer without using AI just 4 months after the study started.
Right. Blimey.
I mean, they have lost their ability to detect cancer.
Wow.
And that was one of those things where even I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, yeah, use that to help doctors with detecting cancer and stuff." Even they lost their ability to actually do their work.
I suppose
So,
it's like any muscle. If it's not being exercised, it'll deteriorate. And if you're not exercising your brain, it will deteriorate. You know,
mhm,
reading words, writing words takes a lot of brain power, takes a lot of effort
right.
for sure. And to be truly creative takes a lot of effort.
Mhm. Just look at who keeps pushing all of this hype. I mean, most of it is marketing, the fact that it's hype. The companies that are building all of this, the companies that are instituting AI, they don't want to pay workers. Then what's going to happen? What, how are people going to work? I mean, you have these huge companies, OpenAI, talking about um, universal basic income. Great, great idea. Yeah, we're going to put our trust in companies that can't even pay their own workers a decent wage half the time and are constantly trying to, you have Elon Musk cutting off aid for the poorest Americans, and yet we're supposed to expect him to just willingly pay everybody a set amount every month? I don't think so.
Yeah,
That ain't gonna happen.
no, I think you could be right there. You could be right. So tell me
Oh,
something about you that's extraordinary.
extraordinary.
Yes, extraordinary.
I don't know. Um, I don't know if I've lived an extraordinary life. Um,
Every
I
life is extraordinary.
Every life is extraordinary in itself. I think that the idea of extraordinary is, I don't know, something extraordinary about myself. When I moved here the first time, uh, the first day, full day. So I got here at night and uh then I had first full day here. I was teaching English at the time, and so the manager of my school picked me up from my hotel and I went to the school and stuff. And then he brought me to lunch and we're at the restaurant and he's like, "Oh, can you use chopsticks? Or do you need a fork?" I go, "Oh, I don't know how to use chopsticks. I'll just ask for a fork." And then suddenly it clicked in me. I'm like, "I'm here to teach English. I don't think this restaurant understands me having to ask for a fork." I'm like, "Oh, I need to learn to use chopsticks today." So I had to just learn really quickly how to use these two sticks to get food to my mouth. And I think that's a good little anecdote for sometimes I don't always know what I'm doing, but I just get into it and then I figure it out and I have to learn really quickly and it works out. And I've done that with man, a lot of stuff. An absolute lot of stuff.
Just learn on the job, right? Love it.
Yep, and so I just do it and it works. So yeah.
I think it's a good anecdote for life. Just get on with it. Just try it.
Mhm.
Just do it and adapt. So, who inspires you?
Ah, my parents, obviously. Good writers definitely inspire me. Just to be better at writing, to, the way you think and everything. My wife is awesome. Uh,
What's her name?
Rainy, Rainy. So, I mean, she moved to the US and then lived there for 8 years. And, because we had been dating here and then I moved back to the US and then she moved there and we got married and I mean she lived there. She's had to do a whole lot of just figure it out at the same time, just like me and stuff. And yeah, no, she's pretty great.
How
So
old are your children?
8 and 4. So yeah,
Lovely.
they
Lovely ages.
are both boys and they are wild. They are absolutely insane.
Well, just
But
like just like their father, wild and insane.
apparently so, yeah. But they're a lot of fun. So yeah. And they love to be outside. They just love to be outside. So yeah,
What a great
it's
life for them. So, come on
mhm.
then. My last question: what's your favorite book or movie or film? Um, Probably going to be a book in your case. And which is the book that stands out for you?
I don't know if I really have a favorite book. I mean, to be able to narrow it down, I could definitely narrow down authors or something, but I mean, favorite book. I've read Gatsby probably at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
Almost every line in my copy is underlined. Um, Ginger Man by J.P. Dunleavy is one of my all-time favorites. Um, Hunter S. Thompson is my favorite writer, I would say.
So who was
Um,
that again? Just you went a bit crackly then.
Hunter S. Thompson, yeah. Um, One of my favorite writers. Definitely, actually, he's my favorite. But yet, I don't name any of his books amongst the top.
And what about
So,
your and what about your favorite movie?
either Field of Dreams or The Big Lebowski.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. What are you drinking there? Is that vodka?
Water, water. I prefer big cups because then you don't have to fill them as often.
So what time is it there now?
What?
What time is it where you are now?
It is 4:53 in the afternoon.
Is it?
Yes.
So you'll
So
be going, you'll be ready for your sundowner in about half an hour then.
yes, yes. So yeah, my time for coffee is done.
Well, I've just discovered some very funky coffee, which has got no caffeine in it. Doesn't it tastes like normal coffee, but it doesn't give you quite the high. So I can drink it throughout the day if I want to. It's great. Well,
Nice,
look, Nate, is
nice.
there anything you want to ask me as I've interrogated you for the last half an hour or so?
How do you like doing these?
I love doing them
Yeah.
for a number of different reasons. I started doing this during COVID, and it
Hmm.
was a great way of talking to people, connecting with people, because obviously you
Hmm.
couldn't physically go and see people. And being a sociable soul, it was just a great alternative. Um, and what I realized very early on, and I interviewed people that I knew quite well that were prepared to be interrogated. Um, it made me realize actually how little I knew people I thought I knew. Because when you don't get into these kind of questions when you're sat in a pub or in a bar or something, um, because they're probably considered to be too heavy questions. You know, you tend to keep things quite light. But when it's in a
Hmm.
sort of fairly structured format like this, it's amazing what you find out about people. And also,
Yeah.
I find that as long as you give people time and you allow gaps in the conversation, people will tell you things that
Oh yeah.
are quite astonishing. And I think also people quite enjoy doing it. For people I've interviewed said, I've never done that before. Done business interviews and that sort of stuff, but not had a one-on-one interview. I
Hmm.
think an interview is probably not a very accurate description of what it is. Really, it's a conversation, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of ways.
So that's why I do it. Yeah, I do it for kicks, do it for fun. It's not a commercial thing. I do it quite selfishly for my own pleasure. And if other people enjoy it in the process, great. That's
Nice.
mission accomplished.
Nice. Nice. Okay, then a little bit tougher one. How's the
Oh,
miscanthus? Sorry. How's the miscanthus coming?
yeah, it's been a long, long road. It's
Okay.
taken 3 years to get
Yeah.
the funding,
Hmm.
to get the right partnerships in place, to get the right equipment, kit,
Hmm.
technologies. The factory's
But
the
it is
first
coming.
the first factory's up. It's
Oh,
built.
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
The factory's built, but it's not yet got all the equipment installed.
Hmm.
So I'm reckoning by the time it'll start squirting out product,
Hmm.
we're about another year away, I'm guessing. So
Okay.
the first factory will be in the UK. We've done a JV with a French manufacturing conglomerate.
Hmm.
They will be the sort of route to market. but yeah, so it's getting there. It's been, with lawyers and finance,
Mhm.
and it's been a total nightmare. But
Well,
we'll get there.
that, that's what made me first reach out to you because I just thought it was so cool. So, yeah.
It was, yeah, yeah. I mean, and every time I speak to Sian Sutherland, for example, she's, how's it coming along? I say, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But it's 3 years of saying it's coming.
Well, hey, at least it's still coming and at least it's not on hold. So,
Well, yeah. I
that's
mean, it has very
that's
nearly
good.
got blown out of the water, blown off course multiple times. But
Mhm.
it's coming. I mean,
Well,
we have got some challenges because there's just not enough
mhm.
miscanthus currently being grown. So there will, once we get the uptick in demand, then the challenge will be encouraging landowners and farmers to grow more miscanthus. But I
Mhm.
think that will happen, but they won't grow it until there's demand. So you have to create the demand. At the moment, 95% of miscanthus is burnt for energy. Madness.
Yeah.
What's that doing? It's releasing carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, which we don't really want to be doing.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, we'll get there in the end. In the meantime, we have to make the living doing other things.
Yeah.
Bringing down these terrible chemical companies that are doing awful things to the planet.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I don't want to bring them down. What I do want them to do is to pay for what the damage that they've done,
Well, I mean,
which is happening.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're so big, but if if enough pressure is actually applied on them to get them to create alternatives, then I think we might actually get somewhere with all of this. I mean,
The thing is, though, uh, Nate, this is the tip of the iceberg because
mhm.
it's not just PFAS. There are
No,
obviously
no,
there are
not at
many
all.
many variants, but if you then look at plastics, there are thousands of chemicals that go into making plastics. If you then look at inks and all sorts of other coating products, the chemical toxic pool of rubbish that we're chucking into the environment and therefore into the food chain and therefore into our bodies is horrific. It doesn't surprise me that we've got such a high rate of cancer and other fatal diseases because we're not treating nature with the respect it needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, look, it's been a pleasure. When you're
Yeah, it's been fun.
when you're next in the UK, if you ever come over here, you must come and stay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You're
Sorry.
right.
Still getting over
Don't die
all of
on
it.
me. It's probably the
Yeah.
PFAS in the water.
Just getting over a cold a bit, so I'm good. I'm good.
Anyway, it's good to see you. Have a great
Yeah.
weekend, won't you?
Yeah, you too. Good to see you.
And thanks for agreeing to being interviewed.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, take care.
It's great. All right. Bye.
See ya. Bye.